Hello, good afternoon. I'm in Himalayas and it's raining. Let me show you. It's really beautiful. It's very cold. It's freezing cold. So I got this heater and I'm seeing this kind of heater for the first time. So it's like one rod will turn on this side. If I turn both of this on, okay. If I turn this on as well, both will turn on. And this is for spinning. So it will start spinning. Oh, why is it not working? It is working. Just taking some time. So the idea of it is very fantastic. Okay, let's turn. Oh, you cannot turn one off. You have to turn like. Yeah, that's interesting design. I saw some. Okay, let me see if this is perfect. Hopefully, this is perfect. I saw some Instagram post about. First, let me close the window. I love the sound of rain, especially the thunderstorm and everything about it, because I'm from a place where it rains for around 30 to 45 days in a year. And whenever it used to rain, we had school holidays. So we used to look forward for rain days. And it's just all the happy memories with rain. But I understand, like people who are who are born and brought up in areas where it rains too much, it just sucks and they don't like rain. I love rain too much because it it starts after summer and it is there for first couple of days of summer, and summer ends technically and monsoon begins. So many countries do not even have weather as a monsoon. That was a very strange thing to learn. When you start traveling, you learn so many obvious things about the world that you were never exposed to before, and that has very deep impact on you, in a way that, hey, your culture, your society has got so many good things, but there's so many things that other cultures have got right about some specific topic, and you can have those things if you just understand it. Last 1 year I've been traveling to different countries, different cultures, although they are like very similar to us, but there are many differences. That when you go and visit them for like a month or 2 months or 6 months, you realize those differences to its greater depths. And when you come back to home, and then once you had already, been somewhere for 6 months, and when you come back to home, you realize those differences very well. Like everything, like, people, how societies work, how a parent and a child in a societal manner in one specific region are 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 the standards of them to live up to in some specific region will be completely different than other specific region. And especially there is like a big divide in Western and Eastern philosophy of society, businesses, individual self, and everything. I was talking to a guy and he was telling me in the morning that Chinese have very less importance to word I and very big importance to word we, and in Western philosophy there is a big importance to word I and not we. So they do think collectively, and that's one of their powers. That is that is their power as a society. But as an individual, usually, often, more importance to I is good, because initially you will fall down into depression, but then you will realize that okay, I is made up of we, and that realization, when it comes from within, that has more power than just imposing we. So China will be ahead in societal and economical and in many ways, but once it's like first in many things, and I think it will be, uh, once they are there, and the individuals will ask themselves like, okay, we got there, China is now number one, now what? Then they will fall into depressions, and then they will realize, okay, there was some more work to be done in I, so that I can see I as a we, and it's not someone else's expectation that I live up to we. I should just live up to we, because that's just how, that's just most efficient way of thinking about reality, least depressing way of thinking about reality. And societies go through those cycles, people go through those cycles, and I'm at the end, or maybe at the middle, or maybe at the beginning of that cycle of dissolving I into collective we. But I'm still figuring out who is we. Who is we? Is it my family? Is it the society? Is it everyone who has Patel as a surname, or is it everyone working in AI? Is it who is it? Everyone who thinks like me. Everyone who wants to talk about the subjects like this. Who is that we? But before even that we, I think I'm at the middle cycle of I, exploring the end of I, the beginning of I, the middle of I, everything about I. So, just for the context, where am I? I am in Manali. It's a very beautiful part, somewhere in Himalayas, bit further from Himalayas. It's like a top destination for any Indians to go for summers, and this is a bit of a hippie place as well. Like, you can compare this to San Francisco of India in terms of hippie level. You can find all the I don't know the right word for it, but all those things in every street, every corner, and you can freely do whatever you want. So those things are there, and it makes it very interesting. Lots of Israelis come here for vacation. Like, when I go to cafes, it's like 75%, 80% Israelis, and that's very interesting thing as well. Like, Israelis come to two places only in India. It's, I think, mostly Goa and this part of India, north part of India. This is very beautiful. Long trees, big mountains. You can always see a mountain further away from your sight, which is like covered in a snow, and it's always, the temperature here is 10 degree less than Delhi and Gujarat, where I'm from. So it's so pleasant, especially after staying in San Francisco for almost 6 months. I really like this weather. I don't want to live in Gujarat's weather. It's just something you cannot go back to. So San Francisco has spoiled me a lot in so many things. Apart from the geography and where I am physically, let's talk about where I am mentally. So mentally, I have been cycling through so many emotions in last. Once I started making money, and once I made enough money that at a point where I didn't know what to do with this money, other things started coming up, like other things, as in like, hey, what's the meaning of life? Who are you? Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you hanging out with the people who you're hanging out with? Why are you making decisions that you're making? why everything. And it was a bit depressive. It's not anymore. It was a bit depressive in terms of like what I do has no significance, what I do has no worth at the end. Everyone is going to die, everything is going to end, nothing is permanent. And so why do anything? I went through that phase probably 1.5 years ago. Then comes the phase of like doing whatever you want with no consequences. But then you realize, okay, there are consequences, and they'll put you in even worse place than you are already. Like, be it, just social drinking, or hanging around with people that you actually don't want to hang around. You just like, passing the time. Those phases lasted around like a month. Then comes a phase of like, okay, let's make more money. But then you go back to like, okay, you already have enough money. Like, what do you want to do? What kind of life you want to live anyway? Just start living the life you want to live. So that phase is, I think, now I'm at the end of that phase. I went to France, I went to Dubai, I went to US for a couple of months, and now I'm in north of India. I feel super grateful, that luckily, or with hard work, whatever it is, I made enough money in my 20s, like early 20s, and now I'm 24, and I have lived like last 1 year exactly the way I wanted to live, and it has helped me grow a lot in terms of just small things or big things, but just like small things. Like when I go to any restaurant nowadays, I don't look at the menu. I don't look at the menu in a way that, okay, what's the price or what's the dish. I just ask the waiter or the person who is serving, like, what's the best, or like, hey, can you make me this like custom dish, or like whatever, and that just feels so liberating, especially coming from a middle class family. One thing to know about me: we as a family have never been to a restaurant before, like never ever. So restaurant is a strange concept for me in the first place, because the place we were living in Gujarat, my hometown, Rajkot, which was very small town at that time, there were concept of restaurants, but my father was like very strict Gujarati person who would save 90% of whatever he is making, only spend on our education, only the necessity, like very essential things. And definitely he invested in right things. He invested in our futures. Like when I remember this very clearly, when I wanted a phone to prepare for my G exam, he gave away his phone, or either my grandfather gave away his phone. One of those things happened, and till today I think about that. Like, if I didn't have that cell phone, I would be like 5 years behind, or 10 years behind, or I would never be who I am today, which is great. Which is like great that they invested on right things. But by living that middle class life, you always have so many mental barriers on yourself that you impose, even when your family is not there. Like, how do cultures survive? Because by the time you are 20 or 21, you download the entire software of your father and grandfather, and then you live in that software. And I really didn't want to do that. They lived great life. They lived life with great sacrifice for us to be here, for me to be here. And I feel grateful for that, but I don't want to live that life. Because with each stage of evolution, if you are not changing, if you are not evolving per se, and they're not good or bad ways of evolving, it's just pure, I think, effectiveness and survival. effectiveness, because like everyone will be able to survive. Even if I'm drinking like 4 bottle of alcohol for next 20 years, I'll still be alive. I can still have children, so I can still pass on my genes. But that's not effective living. And survival is like just don't jump off the mountain. That's like basic survival thing. And don't do stuff that gets you killed. Don't do stuff that puts you in jail. Don't do stuff um, that just violates laws of physics, right? Like don't put your finger in this heater. I think I should turn on the heater. It's getting a bit cold. So all these things, like, yeah, this thing should be considered. But the mental barriers of society that expects you to be in a way, at this age I'm realizing like how important it is to realize each of those things that my father, my mother, or anyone in the society, especially first 20 years of my life, have installed those programs, and how to identify the programs that I want to uninstall, and how to do it efficiently, with with uh, with keeping in mind that I still need to be a functional human being in the society, or at least on my own, and not fell into depression, not fell into basically a therapy, but on my own. I'm still that Indian that I will not do therapy with a therapist. I might do it. I mean, I have seen so much of content of one YouTuber. His name is I forgot his name. I'm so bad with name that I forget even the person's name that I follow so much. His short name is Dr. K, and his YouTube channel is Healthy Gamer GG, and he makes other people realize the things they are holding on to, and then it's your choice if you want to hold on to that thing or not. It's just the awareness that matters. So I'm being aware of all these things. Last 7 days I'm doing a lot of different activities that would help me realize those things, and then it's my choice. Then it's the choice of my intellect at that time to decide if I want to keep that thing or not. And I'm 24 now, so a lot of pressure from my household at least, and the society I live in. Like, all right, time to get married. It's like so foreign concept to my Western friends. Like, you are 24, you are a kid right now. At least be 30 first. So I live in those opposite worlds. But I think it's not a bad idea to get married at like 25, 26, 27. It's just a matter of like the right person. And I was listening to a podcast, and one of the best line was 90% of your joy is into selecting the right partner. Let that sink in. 90% of your joy. Because the same person is gonna sleep with you, same person is gonna eat with you 3 times a day, plus snacks. You're gonna spend like basically your 80% of life with that person. Especially me, I would spend 90% because I do not have 9 to 5 or office work or things like that. So that'll be crazy. So I'm thinking about what kind of a life partner do I want? What kind of life partner will suit me? But as I think more on that topic, it just goes back to I. It just goes back to the concept of I. Like, who am I? What are my needs? What are the things I can offer? What are the things that I. And as I think more onto that, I see so many things where I can see like, okay, these are the things I still need to fix. Not fix, but need to work on, need to be more aware of, and need to just let it change how it wants to change after the understanding comes. And those things are, there are many things, but some of the main things are about a bit of more confidence. I don't know why I struggle with that. I just still haven't found the root cause of it. But I have plenty of time to do it. I'm in Manali for like 30 days. Not confidence in a way that I'm not able to. I can give public speech to 1,000 people. I can upload this video to wherever I want, right? I can send this video to whoever I want. It's not those confidence. I can walk up to any random table, no matter if they're like six bulky boys or six beautiful looking girls, whoever they are. I can go there and strike the conversation. I have those skills, but the confidence is like in a deeper level, where the decisions of who to trust comes from. Like, do I trust myself to make a decision? Which I have in last 1 year, last 5 years, 10 years. I have. Like, I dropped out from school. I took all the unconventional path when nobody was believing in me. It was just me and my confidence. That's it. But I think there is deeper something there. Like, if my gut feeling is saying this unconventional decision, can I go all in with full confidence? Like, when I dropped out, it was not still with full confidence. That's why it took me 3 or 4 years to figure out what I want to do. If I had full confidence in myself, it would have taken a year. So these are judgment things. When you correct one thing in your life that you know is okay, so example, I heard it in Hindi, so let me translate it in my mind. But a person who is walking, a normal person who is walking, and a person who has, I don't know how to call it, but this kind of thing in his foot, like a sting, let's say, a foot that is wounded in one way or another. Even like the smallest kata, it's called kata in Hindi. You can see two different person, one who is walking normally and one who has a small kata in his feet. You can see it, like, even if it's small, you can see the way they walk. And it's not bad. If someone cannot walk properly, that's fine. But when someone cannot walk confidently, dogs will attack them. Tiger will make them the first choice of prey. In the mountains, you will fall down. All these things come from like a small thing, like very small thing. And I feel like overall, everything is great in my life. Nothing to complain. But these small things that I need to go deeper and do my self-operation on. There are so many small things, and I'm able to be aware of a lot of them in last couple of days, months, years. And it requires separation from society. So that's why I'm in north of India, not at my home. Because when you are in your home, it's just so hard to do self-operation, because you are like, the stages of awareness are like this. You are not aware at all, so it's completely fine to live in society. But then you start to get bit aware. Then it's still fine to live in society. Then you get hyper aware of everything. Like, you know what's wrong in every sentence that that person is saying, right? And you know what's wrong in the every sentence that you are replying as well. You can see through every transaction being done. And at that time, it's just not good to live in society, because it's just so much of mental toll on yourself. At that time, it's good to go out, and figure out like what's going on. Hey, let's talk. And while you're figuring out, it's also not good to be in society. But once you figured it out, it's not good to be alone, because why do you want to be alone? We are we are like we are humans. Humans have evolved to be in groups, in like in even if the group is not hierarchically, whatever the word is, um, even if the group is not equal, even if it's like hierarchic, um, still we want leaders, we want followers. And that's how great things have been done, like biggest temples, biggest churches, biggest monuments around the world. Any king who had the largest area to rule, all those things, all the great things, I call them great things, all those great things were by group of people, not by individual. But again, the but, Christ or Buddha or anyone got their knowledge or their enlightenment individually. Not even their students who were like their first hand students were equally good as them, because they were unique, they were different, they were separate in society, where they could think for themselves. And once it was gone, we couldn't find other like that. So with all this, I'm figuring out what's the purpose of my life. I can make infinite money, I can make $1 billion, I can at least make $100 million from where I am sitting. And what I have observed in last 1 year, the people I've hanged around with, I can make $100 million within 3 years. That's not a big deal. But at the end, the question will come like, what will I do with this money? Who am I? All these questions will come at the end. So it's better, it's much better to get everything down now and figure out like, do I even want to make that much money? What do I want to do with my life? Last 1 year was fantastic. Do I want to keep living like that? Or do I want to do something else? So yeah, with all these existential questions, I am in Himalayas, best place to be, and I am in the best room I can be. I can give you a tour of my room as well, and then I'll give you a tour of the place I'm staying as well. So this is like a thing that you can warm your water with. Isn't it like just like sometimes I just get like stumped by the technology around. Like look at this heater. It's like literal fire, but it's not burning, you know? That's a telephone. And that's a telephone, and this is iPhone. Look at this. So gorgeous. And as usual, very messy tables. Nothing much interesting, to be honest. This is some supplement I have just started taking. Yeah, nothing much interesting. Oh shit, what was that? Which one is this one? I'm focusing with my nose. Okay, let me. Interesting. When I say interesting, it's usually not very good. So, this is the place I'm staying. So beautiful. And it is still raining. Wow, this is How do I? Alright, perfect. It took me like legit 30 seconds to figure out how to go from 0.5 to 1. Yeah, that's a nice place as well. It's a nice place when it's not raining to go and just like work. But that's about it. I used to not like art that much. Even like last year when I went to Paris, last year when I went to Paris, I didn't go to a single museum. Even the Louvre was right in front of me, and I was like, I don't understand art that much. But this year, especially in my US trip, I was like, art is great, and art is not even like the things you paint and the things you just like make. It's about like everywhere. Like the tree is work of art, right? The work of art of God and evolution, both of them. You are art. Yes, you. This is fast enough. All right, that's about it. Um, no promises of when you're gonna see me next. It can be tomorrow. It can be never. Um, and I'm not sure where this is going in the first place. But yeah, it might go to my other YouTube channel, which is 7 Ronak 7, which is different than Ronak Patel. This is getting too much. I think we need someone to simplify this. Maybe I need to be that someone. Go in like a deep meditation and figure out these things. Alright, that's about it. More stories and more self talks will come soon. Bye.